people, which is the Benin people, who were already a religious people that had that concept of a deity. It was all the way from Benin that they carried that deity. It's first settled in Ekpe, then from Ekpe, it settled where? In Ozuzu. Today you have it in Ozuzu. So I didn't put water in my mouth when I said Eche people are Benin people. And I will see rephrase, Eche is Benin people. Thank you, Mr. Titanic.
Thank you,
and eventually his luck turned around.
Tell us your own part. Let us hear where the Eche people come from.
Hello.
Tell us your own part. You heard me clearly. Tell us your own part. You heard me clearly, oh, please.
Okay. There's a statement you made. You said Amadioha came down from Benin to Ekpe to Ozozo.
Just tell us your own part. Tell us
wait now.
Route of the Eche people.
Wait.
Just tell us your part without referring to him.
Yes. Wait. Listen. Hello.
I'm listening.
Can you hear me?
Go on. We are listening.
Okay. Wait. In River State, I have heard an Ekpe man calling Igbo man is Soma.
Tell us your own migration route. How the Eche people come about?
No. Listen to me. Is Amadioha a Benin language? Why not they make things they complicated like this?
In Benin, they have Amadi. In Benin, they have a concept known as Amadi. A Benin man has told me that they have this in they call Amadi.
You said in Benin.
What is thunder in Igbo language? What is thunder? Thunder is Egbelu. What is thunder in your language? Do you know the concept of thunder? Thunder is Egbelu. Why is your God not named Egbelu? Egbe is supposed to be Egbelu something. It's not supposed to be Amadioha.
Rudolph. See, this argument, this is how am I going to classify this now? It's like this is not the roots of what we're supposed to be arguing. We're supposed to be like debating on the concept of the Igbo itself. So that once that concept has been established, then all these other peripheral issues can now come in. I asked him a question. I don't know if Akubweze, did you hear my question I asked you earlier?
Scarface, let him just tell us his own migration route, how the Eche people come about. That is just simple.
Because if you are arguing all this meaning of names and this, you can argue from now till thy kingdom come. It will still need to know end goal.
See.
Okay, tell us your own part. Just tell us your own part. Go straight. Forget what Rudolph said. Tell us your own part.
Hello. I have no time to listen. I have no time to come and be, tracing route of how a people came about.
Yeah, let's move on. Can you see how these people are? They just think that when we come up here, we don't have facts. We are not learned. We just talk. Do you think we just came up with all these things? Those of you that are listening here, or those Igbo people that are listening, don't just think that when we come up here, we will just start talking. That Ikwere people are older than Igbo. That Ikwere is older than Igbo. Even that Iche, they are older than Igbo.
Osikid. See, Rudolph, sorry, please, Osikid, sorry. You see, Rudolph, you shouldn't be making that mistake of arguing on a language base with these guys. You argue from now till, just take it on a historical class with them. And you see them, they will just be confused. I don't have time to talk about all these blah, 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 blah rubbish. But if you go into language and all this, they have that time with you. And you talk from now till, no ending. Take them to history and tell them to give you how they came about in that. They cannot say it. They have nothing to prove about it. All what they always depend on is language. Yeah.
And we can tell them how the language come about. We have the documents. How the language of a thing come about. There is nothing like Igbo anywhere.
See, my brother, you see this HA.
Please, I want to ask Aku a question. Please let me
This
bring him
HA.
up. Please.
Okay, he's not up here. This HA we are talking about, right? Now, let me tell you something about HA. This HA we are talking about. In Rivers State, there was a time all of us being day one local government too. In Obia or Port Harcourt City local government too. All of us, they under a local government known as Ikwere local government. Now, inside the Ikwere local government, this HA they talk, follow for that Ikwere local government too. Is that we know?
Yeah, greetings and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me. This is a brief one. I just thought I should cover this because there is a lot of poisonous narrative going on TikTok that I'm not sure a lot of people are paying attention to in Nigeria. People are going around saying all kinds of falsehoods everywhere. They are not checking facts anymore. And they bully people when you try to correct them that their information is not correct. So, and this host this type of program all the time, whereby they just draw up a kind of either one. They're going to spell out one. They are going to be anti-Igbo first. First, they will be anti-Igbo. Then they go on to be kind of what do you call almost erasing the South at the same time. It's like how do you even do that? It doesn't even make sense. You would think it should be one direction. Then they will say, oh, Igbo are not Ikwere is not Igbo, but the Okrika, Kalabari, Opobo people are Igbo. So it's like there is a great deal of misinformation out there that is going on, and when you tell them to share evidence of what they are saying, they will say no, there's nothing to be shared. One of the arguments that the host there makes all the time, he says the reason why the Delta Igbo people speak Igbo at all was because of the British, which I've never heard of that kind of theory before, because maybe you guys may know about it. He says the British people forced people in the what is now called Anyoma area to speak Igbo. That's why they are speaking Igbo. It's like the kind of stuff I'm hearing is just, I don't know, man. Something is wrong, man. I don't know who is funding these people, why they are doing what they are doing. He's saying the British are the ones, during the time they came, they wanted to make people speak the same language. So they said, okay, all those Delta, what we now call Igbo people should be speaking Igbo language. So they forced them to kind of adopt the Igbo language. So that's why they sound Igbo today. I was like, okay, that's a new one on me. I've never heard that one before. I don't know whether any of you have had anything like that before, because some of all these they are saying, and no proof for it. They didn't bring any proof for it. I don't know why. What is going on out there? It's like our people have a serious identity crisis. Even in the South, as a matter of fact, even within Edo, there is problems. Look at all this stuff that's happening with the Oba case and the Obaseki case recently. Because somebody says Edo Tokpeye versus Oba Tokpeye, all hell breaks loose. And people started targeting the palace as if this is some kind of, I don't know what is going on with our people. Why are we so hyper about all this is when we should be hyper about securing our country, making sure there is peace, and making sure there is advancement, and our people live actually good lives? Why do we argue about these things so strongly and so uneducatedly? Like nobody even bothered to check data. So I can keep playing this so that you guys can listen to what they are saying and you hear the level of this is the ignorance that is going on there. Because you say, I told them, you know what? The Igbo people, they gave the Ikwere people, they gave their own history. They talked about how they moved into that area around 500 or so years ago. That's their own history. Oh, say, how dare you say that? How dare you say something like that? Like, but you didn't even bother to check what I said is true. You say, how dare I say that? It's like they are crazy out there. Some crazy people are online saying crazy things about different groups in Nigeria. They said the Okrika is Igbo, Kalabari, Opobo, they are all Igbo. It's like, but I grew up there. I know that the languages people speak are very, very different from Igbo language. As a matter of fact, I've been with so many Igbo people that I can hear most of their language. So when Okrika person speaks, I can't hear. When Ibani person speaks, I can't hear. Kalabari, I can't hear anything. So I don't understand why they keep saying these things that they do. And it's like, what is there to be gained even? I don't even know what there is to be gained. Are you trying to wipe out the people by just saying that they don't exist? Is that it? Or some people are just out there sowing misunderstanding, chaos, enmity between our groups? Is that it? It's just, I just thought I should highlight it. This is not going to be a long stream. This is just to point out so that this will be documented. And because I keep saying this, that this is a problem that we are not picking up on. This is South now. This is not North anymore. This is not Fulani. South arguing amongst themselves. You wonder what that region, to be fair, you say whatever you like about the Southwest. The Southwest don't have these sort of silly arguments. Most of the arguments tend to be bent on reality. But these guys, they will just come and they just say stuff that has no resemblance to reality at all. You know what this host, what is his main agenda? He says they have to restore the indigenous bill that prevents Igbo people from being able to vote in the South. You know, maybe there's an argument that you can make for that. I don't know. But when you decide that at the same, on the same breath, saying that Kalabari, Okrika, and all of them are Igbo, it's like, okay, what is going on here? This is crazy. The Ijaw people are some of the oldest people in Nigeria. Why are you trying to say that they are one group or the other? You can't believe how they responded. When I told them this, that okay, there's no way that can be the case because I grew up there. I know the language. I know how they speak. That it's impossible for them to be this in Ijaw, this in Igbo people because I know the Ijaw people. As a matter of fact, the Ijaws were one of the collaborators with the British and the Portuguese and all that. They were going inland, capturing Igbo people and bringing them to the shores to go and be sold into slavery, which was a terrible thing to do. They were doing those things. And some Ijaws fought against it. Some Ijaws did it during that time. That is how King Jaja of Opobo emerged. The story is all there. They all know it. And yet they go on online and they will say, the Ijaws are Igbos. I just can't help it. I don't know what is going on out there. People are funding these people. I guess maybe it's TikTok. I don't know who is funding them. Maybe it's TikTok. That's what is funding them to say all these things that they are saying. But it's not helping the Nigerian discourse. And this is why when I'm hosting, I always make sure people have evidence of what they are saying. Because there are people like this spewing out garbage out there. False narratives constantly. They are doing it almost 24/7. They don't stop. If he stops now, some other person will take over. That's how it's working. No wonder Nigerians can't even catch a breath. The Nigerians can't catch a breath. People are just out there sowing falsehoods deliberately. And when I came out, I said I'm against that indigenous bill nonsense. Okay, I didn't exactly call it nonsense, but I'm against it because it locks people into a specific area. Even if you grow up, let's say in Kaduna, and all your life you were born there and everything, but because your father is not from Kaduna, you have to go back to wherever you're from. Let's say Muahia to go and vote. What is that? That doesn't make sense. That it should be based on how long you have lived somewhere. If you have lived somewhere for 5-6 years, you should be allowed to vote there as an indigenous of that state. It doesn't make you indigenous, but you vote with the indigenous people of that state because you now have a stake in that state because you've lived in that state long enough and you're earning your living there. That's how it's done everywhere else. Many of the countries many of us run to, that's how it's done. That's what I advocated. And he didn't like that. He was like, oh, you are here coming to tell us that we are going to be doing this, and it's wrong because the Ijaw people are under attack by the Igbo people, and so we have to stand our own ground. I say, yeah, you can have arguments about maybe your culture should be protected. Some things about your tribes should be protected. Maybe even some lands should be protected, but you can't stop people from being a nation. You simply can't. It's like Yoruba people, like some of all those Yoruba people in the southwest that are saying Igbos you live the southwest, or in short, anybody else you live the Lagos. It's like why would you tell people to leave Lagos? It doesn't make sense. Any of those are arguments that don't lead anywhere. It's just silly arguments. But the problem now is that they are very loud online. They are very loud online. I don't know how loud they are on the ground. I'm not sure they are even anybody pays attention to them on the ground, really. Let's face it. Most Nigerians are just getting on with their business, really. They are just doing their thing. All these people, they are just online sowing chaos out there. And they are the ones that politicians use. Let me play some of it again so you guys can listen what they are saying. And maybe, a few people have come and maybe they might share some reasonable information, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
A kind of, they have a history, ancestors in everywhere. Now they say Ikwere is Igbo. How Ikwere is Igbo? Thank you.
Right. Okay, thank you, sir. Let me, Rudolph.
You see, now they are arguing that Ikwere is not Igbo. The language they speak sounds Igbo. Yes, it sounds Igbo. You like it or not? And the Ikwere people themselves, they tell you that they migrated there. I don't know what to tell you. The Ikwere people said they migrated there. The language they speak sounds Igbo. What do you want people to say? That they are not Igbo? Okay, they are allowed to self-identify as not Igbo if they like. So what? What is the point of all this conversation? It's not by force that Ikwere people have to choose to be Igbo. If they say they don't want to be Igbo, and some of them say they want to be Igbo, so be it. The truth is that the language they speak sounds like Igbo. Even if there are a few differences here and there, it does sound like Igbo language. I don't know why people pretend. Nigerians lie so much. Same thing with the Anyoma area. Many of the languages speak sounds Igbo. That is the truth. But it doesn't mean that many of the Anyoma people don't also have words that sound like Edo language. Some of them are mixed. And maybe that's where all this confusion is coming from. Like you are not even allowed to be mixed anymore in Nigeria. You have to choose one or the other. And yet, behind the scenes, everybody is busy marrying each other. Having family from different groups. They are all jumping from one bed to another, constantly marrying each other, on and on. and then when we have the discourse, we pretend as if there's just a straight line. Go and see Nigeria underneath the sheets. Underneath the sheets of Nigeria all hell is going on there. Man. All kinds of shenanigans is going on there. No one group is intact. This one is with Igbo. This one is Yoruba, Ijaw. That's how they're all intermingled. No family is clean. Every family has many other groups in them. Some of them even have the entire Nigerian tribal groups in their families. And yet they pretend as if there's a straight line with everything. I tell you, if you look at Nigeria, southern Nigeria, you can argue that we are already a nation, but we're just in denial. Because behind the sheets, something else is going on. Check them. Just check them deeply. You will find that many people that claim to be Igbo, they have either Southwestern gene, Edo gene, Ijaw gene in them. Many of them that claim Ijaw, they have mixture there. There's hardly any pure blood anymore in that Nigeria that you talk about, especially the South. Especially the South. Check the family trees. You see them everywhere. I know for sure because my family is one of them. They are everywhere. Different group from Southwest, South, Southeast, everywhere. I'm telling you, when they say everywhere, they are everywhere. That's the truth of Nigeria. We are in denial. Let me unmute again so that you guys can listen to them, because I just unmuted it for barely a minute. They're already saying Ikwere is not Igbo.
Ejagam people also have it as well. Understand? So these are usually the deities associated, and anywhere you find that Amadioha, you know, you will find that earth god and sky god there, because in their myth it is assumed that the earth goddess, the Amadioha, is a child of the earth goddess in their myth, you know, in the myth of that particular distinct. So and they are always in the same shrine. You will find them in the same shrine. So it was Aro expansion that took Benin swear with the earth. I don't know, but you know, it was the Aro expansion that took that.
It's true. That's Ogun. You know what? When you hear Benin say Ogun Boa,
is Ogun,
when you normally hear
Ogun, is he an earth
Ogun
god?
is the earth god. Yeah, Ogun is an earth god.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, then
Ogun is
just
iron.
hold on.
Yeah.
He said Ogun is what?
Iron.
Iron, god of iron. Yeah. But this is the thing, right? There is actually a record that Igbo people adopted that deity. It was not originally their own. The earth god, the earth god, the sky god, the Amadioha thing was adopted by the Igbo people. They adopted it from the Ibibios. They did not originally have it. They adopted it, right? Apart from the Igbo people, or every other tribe, like the Benis, the Edos, the Urubos, and others, they naturally have this thing. They don't have a record of adopting it from anybody. But it's only the Igbo people that have seen a record that they adopted this deity. So they did not originally have it before. Understand? It was through adaptation that they came in possession of it. So I'm curious, because when I looked at the ritual process, I discovered that they are very similar, especially the one with the thunder god. You know, they use the feathers. They have the double axe. Yeah, they have the double axe. Scarface, don't you people have the double axe as a symbol of the thunder god and the feather? Don't you people have it?
You see, and all these things they are saying now, there is no evidence. So they are not sharing evidence. If you ask them for evidence now, they will say somebody says so, and this is the history we know. There is no evidence. So they are just saying it like off their head. No, nobody's saying, where is your evidence of what you are saying? Do you have a link that we can go to and check, confirm what you are saying to be true, where it is well researched and people that are removed, that are not biased, are able to carry out the necessary research on this? No. They will just make assertions. Oh, Igbo didn't have this. They went there and got this one. I must say, most of the attacks are on the Igbos, I have to say, and maybe a little bit on the Fulanis. On TikTok, is mostly on the Igbos. The attacks are going against. The ones I've seen anyway, I don't know, maybe there are others for against Fulanis, but the ones against Fulanis are not as many. It's on YouTube, you see the ones against Fulanis, but on TikTok, my goodness, it's just on and on and on and on. It's always their topic. If it's another group, they will be talking about them. It's like, what is this thing with identity that we completely lose our mind over? Like, we will spend ages talking about identity over and over again. I don't know what Dan Isaiah was saying here. Dan Isaiah, how are you? Let's see. He says doubling down on efforts against people. I'm not against anybody. Yeah, even if you try to make me be against people, I will not even be against people, because it's against my belief system. It's completely against what I believe in. I actually believe that Nigerians should be able to come together, because they are already together. They are pretending as if they are not together, but they are already together. We should come together and fix our problems, because we have the ability to. It's so easy. The need to fix the ability to fix our system is all there. We have all it takes. Some people don't even believe in us, but I do. I believe we have all it takes. And those that believe with me should follow and agree with what I'm saying. Because what else is there? What else is there other than these mundane, silly arguments about things that don't matter too much? Like, if you tell me now that Igbo people are in the south and their population is increasing, they are moving in. So what? Personally, I don't see that as a problem. Like, you know, when people argue that Fulanis are moving south and they are taking over everything and all, the only thing I have against that is the fact that they are violent. If they were not being violent, they were practicing Islam and they were combating people peacefully, why should I be against it? This is a world of ideas. We should allow ideas to either win or fail. But when their idea gets violent and start costing our people their lives, that is where you have to draw a line, like a very, very thick line on the ground and say, no, this is not going to happen here. And that's why I always tell my Muslim brothers and Christian ones, you cannot cost our people their lives because of your religion. You can't do that, or because of your tribe. Life should be sacred. That should be the number one pillar of any rules you have. It has to be sacred, number one. Then everything else comes later. If you want to argue amongst yourself, argue. But don't fight. Don't kill each other. Be peaceful about it. Let's argue it out. Let's trade it out. If Igbo man is able to out-trade you, outskill you, and, you know, out-procreate you, so what? So what? That is life. That is better than coming and fighting people and killing people left and right. Because that's a peaceful transition. It maintains stability and people are, the society is peaceful and development is still going on. As long as there is no unfair practice, there is no injustice happening. Because injustice can happen peacefully too, you know. Injustice can happen peacefully. You know how our Nigerian politicians rig us out of elections. Sometimes not all the elections that they rig us out that is violent. They just go and bribe the people that are in the offices and pay them and they go and change the results. That is not good, is it? That is cheating. I didn't know that, you know. I didn't know that because it sounded like CV was reasonable. I didn't know he had an agenda. For me, I was shocked because at first it was sounding like he was being reasonable. So I pushed back on it. But then again, okay, see the confusion now. You say he has an agenda against the Igbo people, but at the same time, he said the Kwere, the Okrika, the Opobo people, and the what else did he call them? The Kalabari, they are all Igbo. So it's very. This is what I mean. They are sowing confusion everywhere. They are sowing confusion everywhere. He is against Igbo, and then saying Igbo, all these other Ijaw tribes are Igbo at the same time. And when I told him that is not true, I grew up there. These people, their languages are so different. I know Igbo culture. You know, I know I've seen Igbo culture and their dance and everything, and I've seen the Ijaw culture and their dance. I grew up there. They are very, very different people. As a matter of fact, when I was growing up, I was thinking, how is that even possible? Look at how close they live to each other, but they have so many different languages. I just found out very strange. You know what I always thought? I thought maybe Nigeria is some kind of prison where, you know, so many groups have been rushed into a small area and they're all speaking different languages. Ijaw people like the Ogbea and all those people, they speak a different language that is slightly different from that of the let's say the Kalabari or Okrika. But none of them, not one of them, sound like Igbo at all. Yeah, so different. Like when you hear them, you're like, oh my God, what is this? To the point whereby even linguists classify the Ijaw language as one of the oldest in Africa, not to mention Nigeria. By far the oldest in Nigeria. It has its own branch. The Igbo language, the Edo language, Ishekiri, all those other languages, and Yoruba, they are all classified as one group, while the Ijaw languages are classified totally differently. Because those ones are older. They consider those ones older, that they split away from the Ijaw branch a long time ago. That's the Yoruba. They called it Yoruba Igbo Edo branch, Volta branch. They split away from the Ijaw branch thousands of years ago. So the Ijaw branch was going on its own, while the Volta branch split again. You know, it created the Yoruba language, it created the Igbo language, it created the Edo languages, but they all have a base in common. It's very interesting because in terms of the way linguists look at languages, they don't look at it the way we look at it. Because when you hear the different languages like Igbo or Yoruba, they don't sound alike, do they? They don't even sound alike because that is accent based. But if you look at the words closely, you find out they are quite linked. The patterns, the way they speak, the pattern, they are also quite linked. That is what linguists use to tie languages together. They don't use just the word because, you know, people can change accents based on where they are very, very quickly. Accent can switch very quick. Look at you. Have you know? Don't you? I don't know whether any of you have had this experience where young people they start speaking in code that their parents can't understand. That is just one generation. They try to do that in one generation. Can you imagine a whole people going to a totally different area and they start speaking their own language? Yeah, it's possible for a new language to just emerge very, very quickly. It's very, very possible. So that's how the Volta language came split into Igbo, Edo, different other languages. But go and tell these people that. My problem with them is that whenever they are talking, like you said, maybe it just has an agenda. You see, that's the problem. Once you have an agenda, you're not going to care about facts anymore. And anybody try to present facts to you, you throw them out. That is a problem. And I don't know why TikTok allows this to carry on when people just spread falsehood constantly about other people. And he is nice. He is nice even compared to some of them I've seen out there. This guy is nice. Some of them are horrible. Some of them are really horrible people. And I don't know where, or in short, I don't know. I've not been on TikTok long, so I don't necessarily know when this started. But I feel like since Peter Obi ran from presidency, that's when the intense attacks on the Southeastern people became, you know, that's when it started, when it became really, really intense. I feel like that's when it truly started, when the obedient movement started, because people, they felt like they were a little bit too mouthy. They are talking to people too much. They are insulting elders. They are doing, so they started attacking them left and right. It never ended. Let me see. CY Danjuma, greetings and happy new year all. Thank you for greeting fellow Nigerians. Clearly you don't want to greet me, it's all right. You know, this is what we live through. Let me read some of the comments. I think today I'm going to be easygoing, you know, just take it easy, just try to talk about this a little bit, highlight these things that are going on. I think once a week I'll be flagging these type of people up and we'll be documenting them. These people that are causing this problem, because election is going to come, they need to be monitored closely. These people, they will cause serious problems during the election period. Now, let me carry on. There are many Igbo people in Kalabari, Boni, Opobo, Okrika. Ijaws are mostly in Bayelsa and some parts of Delta State and Edo State. Okay, now you see that, again, that is not correct. You see, that's the problem. People don't know these things. What I'm going to do now, why you said that, I'm going to search now in Port Harcourt, in the River State, I mean, whom are the majority in River State? The Ijaws or the Igbo speaking people? Whom are the major? Whom are the largest group in River? Because there's Ogoni people, you see. There's Ogoni people, you see. So that's the thing that most people don't take into account. The Ogoni people are not, they are classed as Ijaw too, to an extent. Some people don't class them as Ijaw, but some people class them as Ijaw. If you take them into account, Ogoni, they are quite large in population too. What's the Rivers State? Yeah. So what's the largest group in the River State of Nigeria? The query, this is who reside in the water, though The Ijaws are also a major group, widespread this thing. Okay, now let me see the percentage that make up Ikwere. Oh, hold on, Igbo people. You said Igbo people, so not necessarily Ikwere people. Let's see, Opobo. Yes, there are a lot of people. The truth is that there are a lot of Igbo speaking people in Opobo, Oni, and Kalabari, but it doesn't make them this is Igbo. You see what I mean? That's Opobo itself. Think about it. The founder of Opobo was a slave that was captured from hinterland to go and serve in the royal court of one of the Niger Delta towns. I'm not even sure what town that is, which is, I need to check that actually. So from there, he became the head of the house. He rose up, became the head of the house, and went away from there and founded his own town, which is now the Opobo we know today. The people that followed him were not mostly Igbo people. They were mostly the Ibani people there. That's why Opobo originally, their language was Ibani language. That is Ijaw language. And if I play the song from the Ibani people right now, I can assure you, you will not hear one word from it. But it doesn't mean Igbo people are not there. Igbo people may even make up majority there now. And this is, like I said, this is part of the factor of Nigeria that you have to factor into account, and which is part of the point this host was trying to highlight. He was trying to highlight the fact that because indigenous bills are not being enforced, that most of the indigenous groups of many parts of Nigeria are being wiped out. Or not necessarily wiped out, but being kind of subjugated. And this is why a lot of, and this is where people feel a little bit aggrieved when people say these groups are Igbo. They feel aggrieved by it because they're like, no, they are not Igbo. Just because a lot of people are Igbo there doesn't make them Igbo. They are originally not Igbo people. You know, Igbo people, they have a lot of numbers. You have to admit that. They have a lot of numbers and they travel. They are very brave people. They travel a lot. So they go anywhere. You know, if you can see an Igbo man in Medjugorje, or no, not even Igbo man, Igbo woman in Medjugorje, deep inside the Borno state, when Boko Haram was at its height. And that should tell you something. Nothing will nothing will stop an Igbo person from going where they want to go. That's for sure. As long as the gates are open, they'll go wherever that the gate is open. So why are we surprised that they are in the South? But it doesn't make the South Igbo. As a matter of fact, the South are one of the oldest groups in Nigeria. One of the oldest language in Nigeria. And this is why the question arises. Is Nigeria erasing some tribal identities? Because I worry that maybe 10, I don't know whether I should call it worry, but I think 10, 20 years from now, if those groups don't preserve the identity carefully, yeah, maybe Midas touch may be correct to say they are basically Igbo. Including Bayelsa, by the way. There's a lot of people in Bayelsa too. In Cameroon, they are there too. They are traveling people. They travel, they do business everywhere they go. In a peaceful way, by the way. You see, this is the thing I always try to highlight. Because sometimes when people describe people like this, they always look at it in a negative way. What do you want? Do you want it to be done peacefully, or do you want it to be done by war? Because in the end, that's why I can't fault them for it. They are happily coming in, doing business. If you as a people are not wise enough to do business in your own way, I don't think you should hold them accountable for it. And I say the same thing to the southern part of Nigeria. If the north is growing faster in population than you, and you want to do Western style living, you want to be all cool and living the Western, what they call it, you know, human right based, nuclear family based lifestyle, good, do it. But don't complain in 50 years time when they make up 60 to 65% of the population. Don't complain. Prepare for it. That's all. You know how you prepare for it? You turn around and try to find where Mecca is, and start bowing facing Mecca. Practice that. You know, when you have children, you tell them to practice facing Mecca 5 times a day, because that will be your future. If you don't make any plans, if you don't prepare on time, that is not their fault. As long as they do it peacefully, I don't have any issue with that. It's just life. The only part I have issue with is the violent behavior, the unjust behavior. Because you can't say, okay, because you know, let's say Fulani man is in court somewhere, and there is an issue about land in the southeast, and the Fulani man goes and passes judgment clearly against the southeastern interest, knowing full well that is not the correct application of the law. That is unjust. That is in a way violent too. You see what I mean? But if somebody is doing legitimate business and they are related to every other group legitimately, you know, peacefully, they intermarry, they trade with other people, they are friendly, they go to their parties, everybody interchange, everybody's living peacefully. If one side wins the argument, what is your problem? I say that is a form of blessing. You are not getting it through war. You're not getting it through suspicion. You're not getting it through injustice. You're getting it with people actually interacting peacefully. And that is the standard we should be setting for our public interactions. That's the standard you want to set. As a matter of fact, that's what secular system is all about. That's what they try to set. That's the whole point. Interact peacefully and let the best argument win. The best culture win. But the problem I tend to have with many the countries that are converted to Islamic states, is that the moment it becomes Islamic, they lock the door. No more secularism, no more interaction, no more. In other words, don't give people a chance to back off. And some of the states, they even have death penalty on their books if you backslide from being part of the religion. So those are the kind of areas that is archaic that we should do away with. It's not something we should welcome. But let me hear what some of people in the chat are saying, because this is mostly for you guys in the chat. I know you guys like this type of stuff. You know, all these people in the chat that like to be controversial with your comments. Let's hear what you are saying. T.Y. Danjuman, what is the real argument here? The real argument is peaceful interaction and not erasing any tribal identity. Don't disrespect each other, because by disrespecting each other, you are creating a kind of insecurity for yourself. Because if you look at why many Southerners welcome the attack from Trump, even if it's an attack in their own country, it's because of this feeling that they don't have a say in their country. This feeling that they are getting run over. That is the argument. The argument is you have to hear people out. You have to allow them to be what they are. Don't try to erase them. Because even if, like the Awori now that they were the Aboriginals of Lagos, they didn't erase them. I think they are still there today, if I'm not mistaken. You don't erase them and you don't tell them, oh, Lagos is not Yoruba. Lagos is Yoruba, clearly. But it doesn't mean that the population there, maybe in the near future, may not be majority non-Yoruba. It's possible. It's possible. And if that happens, so be it. And I'm not even sure most people in London today are even Londoners. They are the Aboriginal Londoners. I'm almost certain most people in London are not the Aboriginal Londoners. Most people in Abuja today are probably not the Aboriginal Abuja populations. You don't see them, knocking their head. Although I think there is a court case that they are fighting to be recognized for their, their identity should be recognized. And they should be, rightly so. Happy New Year, Tatawo. Oh my God. What happened, Tatawo? Did thunder strike? How did that happen? You greeted me. That is, oh my God. That, you know what? We should be happy. We should be Happy New Year every this thing, because for Tatawo to be telling me Happy New Year, that is very unlike him. Eh? Not even when we are indoctrinated, penalized, and backwards to their way of honest. Their way of honest. I don't know what you were trying to say there, but I'm sure you're trying to say something wicked there. We are Nigerians. Yeah, of course we are Nigerians. They see we pretend as if we are not, but yeah, we are. And the one I always remind people is that just check your sheets. You know, I saw a video the other day on TikTok where this lady was like celebrating the fact that her parents didn't discover that she visited another state to go and see her boyfriend. Like, that's Nigeria for you. Like this, some of them, if you go to the chat of that video, so they were saying, I visited the north. This one was like, I'm one of them said, I'm still on my way. I'm heading there to go and see my boyfriend. That is what is going on in Nigeria that most people don't pick up on. Please leave Igbo people alone. Tell us the situation of your tribe in Nigeria. See, I'm not the one bringing the Igbo people into all this. I think everywhere you go, the attacks on them, I think it's because of P2B. Actually, if you ask me, P2B is at the core of this problem. It's a problem from the point of view that, for the people that are attacking the Southeasterners, I think it's because of P2B. That's why this whole thing has gone out of control. I don't think before then it was mostly about Nnamdi Kanu, and that was a Southeastern problem. People just regard it as a Southeastern problem. But the moment P2B ran, oh my God, it's now a problem. So they started attacking the Southeasterners. And they make it look like P2B supporters are only Southeasterners, which is another weird thing. And I must say, as it stands today, in the last 6 months or so, Peter Obi has lost a lot of credibility in so many fronts. It's sad thing to say. If he doesn't win that ticket in ADC, I think Peter Obi is done. Because the process of joining ADC took too long. The process of leaving Labour Party took too long. The fact that he could not use 6 million votes to take over Labour Party is quite crazy. Nobody can understand that. Till today, I still can't understand that myself. How can you have 6 million votes? You cannot take over a party. Now, should you be that? How many people have 6 million? Give me 6 million votes in this country, I'll win the election the next time. I will make sure I win that because the government in office will not rest, except I'm not drawing breath. So how did that happen? Why are we here today? Not even sure who is going to even face Tinubu. Almost all the governors are running to APC. All because P2B didn't do the needful for whatever reason. I don't understand his politics from that point of view, because what guarantees has anyone got that even if you make him a president, he's going to wield that power? What guarantees we have if you make him a president, he's going to wield the power? Because he had power. He had real power. 6 million votes is not a joke. That's real power. In a country like Nigeria, where it's almost equal to the other major candidates, and you're younger, he's younger, more civil than all the other candidates, and he didn't use it. I find that very, very disappointing. I really find that very disappointing, and it made Nigerians almost hopeless. And now we just have to sit by and watch governors one after the other go and join APC and kiss the ring and sing "On Your Mandate We Shall Stand." Wow. Who would have thought so when the last election was going on? Who would have thought so? Oh, now look at this one. Nnamdi Ifa Kando. You say, forefather APC agent, you never understand Peter Obi or the great Igbo nation. Maybe I don't, but I understand a little bit about wielding power. Peter Obi was given a lot of power. Come on, you two have to admit that. Even Nnamdi Kanu had that kind of vote. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine the trouble Nnamdi Kanu will cause for the Tinubu government if he had that kind of vote. Can you imagine it? Can you imagine someone in Nnamdi Kanu has 6 million votes backing? What he would have done with it? Tinubu will be sleeping with his eyes open, and he will be standing upright at the same time. That is what it means to be given power and wielding it. For the life of me, Peter Obi, with all his civility, which is something I value greatly, but I don't understand why he couldn't even take over Labour Party. I don't understand that. I still can't understand. Labour Party is a small party. It can't be that hard. If it's so hard, then why don't you just create yours? Why not just create yours? Now you're going to ADC. And I hope he wins. I really do hope he wins the ticket in ADC, because if he wins the ticket in ADC, I think all is forgiven. All the stuff that just happened in the last 6 months is forgiven. Because then it would have been that he calibrated it carefully before he joined ADC. Because he knew that is where he's going to get the ticket. And when he gets the ticket in ADC, what makes it even a kind of quite important is because then Atiku would have fallen in line behind Peter Obi, El-Rufai will fall in line behind Peter Obi, and some very top Nigerians will fall in line behind Peter Obi. With that kind of combination, they stand a chance against the current President Tinubu. I think because a lot of people have a chance against President Tinubu if you do your job very well. President Tinubu, his popularity now, or for whatever popularity they say he's got, or his power that he wields now, is based on patronage. It's not based on popularity among the population. It's based on patronage, threats, and nobody has truly questioned his record, how terrible it is. So I think he can be taken down. Tinubu can lose the election quite easily. If you have a strong candidate that knows what he's doing, he can lose the election easily, because there's so much against him. The only thing he has going for him now is all the governors that he has put under his coffers and the ability to intimidate rivals. That's what he's got going for him. But if you have a candidate that is not afraid, that's willing to stand up, and if P2B gets that kind of support with people like El-Rufai behind him, Tinubu is in big trouble. Some people are saying Kwankwaso is going to join him. Again, if Kwankwaso joins Tinubu, that's a big problem, because that's a whole canon again we are dealing with. So it's a big problem, because if Kanu goes to the column of Tinubu, that could be really, really problematic to take the knot. But I still think with Atiku, El-Rufai, and a few other top northerners backing P2B, he can take enough votes from, I don't know, maybe even PDP. I don't know what PDP, in short, oh my God. The Nigerian space has been completely decimated. The opposition is nowhere to be seen. The opposition is the biggest problem we have in Nigeria. It's not the incumbent. The incumbent is not very popular. They're not very popular. The opposition are the biggest problem. Like, look at how long it took PDP to even sort themselves out, to even expel Wiki. It took them ages. They just keep spinning round and round, round and round. And now PDP too has broken into two. And now the problem is that because PDP has a kind of, if for want of a better word, some structure on the ground. They are the ones people have voted for the last election. How do they completely shift, or how do people completely shift all that votes from PDP to ADC now? Except PDP disappears into ADC. If they can get PDP and ADC to cooperate, then you can take it down Tinubu. Then the question arises, to what end? To what end? If you ask me, I would say P2B becoming president of Nigeria is an end in itself. It's an end in itself, because it helps with one thing. You know how Obama became president in America? You know how black people felt? Like, okay, yeah, Obama, first kind of black person to be president in America. People felt good about that. That's how it will be for P2B to become president in Nigeria. It's an end in itself, even without even signing one bill into office or making one presidential declaration or policy. It's an end in itself. From that very moment on, there will be quite a lot of political realignment in the country. So that's one of the reasons why I support P2B. And then his consumption to production is something that is very, very simple to understand. And that's why I support him. But the way he has wielded power so far, I'm concerned. I'm really, really concerned the way he has wielded power. I'm really concerned. It's almost as if he simply doesn't wield it. I don't know what to tell you. He doesn't wield it. And we'll see how it's going to emerge in the this in elections, in the primaries, I mean, in ADC. And it's not going to be very long. We're going to find out. It will be quite a day. It will be a day if P2B emerges as a flag bearer of ADC. Because that will be quite a formidable combination. And the only people that could spoil it for it depends. The only people that can spoil it for ADC is PDP. But PDP is almost dead, from what I gather. They've lost so many governors and so many top. Even Atiku was once ADC, PDP, isn't it? So he moved to ADC now. So PDP has lost a lot of clout, but never underestimate a party that was once in office before. Never underestimate them. They could be deadly in a political struggle. And they can resurge. I've seen cases where the people will just read the obituary of a political party, and suddenly from nowhere that political party emerges again. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Mark my word that I said it. That don't be surprised. PDP goes and picks one candidate that may be so charming, that may be so captivating, that it just disrupts what ADC is trying to do. So, but we don't know. All this stuff we are saying is just conjecture. Don't take what I'm saying seriously. I'm just doing a little bit of analysis because election is not even close. Let's face it. All this permutation we are doing now can easily fall apart. You know, in politics they say, 10 years can happen in 1 week. It can happen in 1 week. P2B, the last time before the election, nobody saw him coming. People were thinking maybe Wike, maybe Atiku, and maybe people were not even sure Tinubu was going to win APC ticket. People were not even sure until suddenly we start hearing about Emilokun and all this talk. Before you know it, all the governors started bowing and giving way to Tinubu. And next thing we know, Atiku took PDP. From nowhere, P2B left PDP and boom, into Labour. And the rest is history. All that happened in less than a couple of months. That's something that took 4 years to prepare. All these events I described right now, which were somewhat unsure or unlikely, happened in a couple of months and transform the election outcome. So the same can happen again the next time. Because Nigerians are not exactly very happy with this current administration. If things don't improve drastically, which it can, make no mistake, all those people that think that Tinubu is dead, make no mistake, it can improve. With the work Dangote is doing, with the work that guy is doing, the kind of value-added manufacturing he's doing, he's exporting a lot of goods, and Nigeria is getting a lot of dollars back. When Tinubu comes back the next election and say, look at our foreign exchange, our foreign reserve, it's so massive. We have so much money. Our Naira has improved. Petrol prices has gone down. Even if it was higher than when he came into office, people will just feel better. And they might just give him the credit for it, especially if insecurity improves too. Especially if insecurity problem reduces. But what concerns me about this campaign that is coming on. And I really wish a lot of people were more concerned about this and they start preparing now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Start preparing now. Start preparing for potential divisive language that is going to come during the election cycle. Start preparing for some of the attacks that is going to come to the obedience or the Southeastern people. Start preparing for potential attacks, maybe even against Fulanis or against any Nigerian. And maybe somebody should brief people like Wole Soyinka, you know, in short, all the top Nigerians that have a voice that Nigerians respect, brief them and let them know. Your job is to ensure this election cycle doesn't devolve into ethnic and religious bigotry. Whenever you hear people say the wrong things, you come out and condemn it, not the next day, not 5 days later, almost immediately. Sit by your phones, sit by your TVs, and when people call you, you come out. Because this is how you manage a nation that is like Nigeria. The last thing I need is to be online and doing a live stream, and then I just cut out. They say, oh no, in Lagos, there's an attack on some obedience and a few people have lost their lives. No. And Shongolu, there will not be any excuse for you. There will be no excuse to pretend as if you don't know. Because if I know, you know. See, it's not okay. Let me read this. Say you like Nigeria too much, but you did not talking too much. See, I don't know. Clearly, you do like Asian ladies. See, why wouldn't I like Nigeria too much? Do I like my life too much? Except I don't like my life too much. Nigeria is like your life. You don't have no choice. Don't you get it? I think some people don't get that, do they? The thing is optional. It's like saying you don't like your leg. You don't like your head. Take it off then. Take it off. Let's see how well you do. Maybe that is where most people mistake what the country represents. It's like saying, I don't like who I am. I don't like my name. Not just your name, what it represents, you. You don't like you. If you don't like you, you have a problem. Nigeria is your identity. It's already assigned. You're already living it. Pretending otherwise, it's not going to help. It just makes you suffer a psychotic break and make you operate in such a way that it's like a schizophrenia. Somebody that has got schizophrenia. You know, you 1 minute you're like this, the next minute you're like this. You can't seem to make up your mind. You can't function, basically. Guess what? That's what's happening to Nigerians. And maybe that's why I did this live this thing. I did this live stream to show people what is going on, because a lot of groups to an extent are being erased and being talked over in Nigeria. A lot of people are being erased in Nigeria, and I don't think I like it. I don't like how it feels, because I know these people. And when I hear some Southeastern people say, oh, Okrika people, these people are all Igbo, they don't know how hurtful that is. And it's a careless, dangerous statement to be making. Very irresponsible statement. Civilians are very responsible, I tell you. They are not strategic. They are so irresponsible. They just say what they feel, no matter how hurtful it is. It's like somebody coming. To be fair, I've seen people say that. Some people saying Igbo people don't exist. They kept asking, where did the Igbo people come from? Like, how would you feel if somebody says you don't exist? If somebody comes and tells you that Igbo people don't exist, or Yoruba people don't exist, oh, I don't even know where people come from. That area, the history is not very clear. We don't know where you are from. Who are you? I heard that you come from Gabon, or you come from somewhere in Sudan. You know, that's a very, very hurtful thing to be saying to people. People should be doing that, and they do that a lot to the South groups. And it's part of the reason why the South, Isaac Adakaboro rebelled, tried to secede from Nigeria in the first place. It's funny, isn't it? I just found out recently that Adakaboro was from Oloibri, the very source of where the very spot they first found oil in Nigeria. Ironic, isn't it? The place they first found oil in Nigeria felt so discontented with the country that they wanted to secede because they didn't have anything to show for that wealth that was discovered on their land. They didn't have anything to show for it. So let me read some of the comments again. In Nigeria, I got, don't loyal you will suffer. I have no time to worship humankind. And then what are you doing in London since you are a love Nigeria and never work? See, there are Europeans in Nigeria today, and they are in Nigeria to do the best and get the best for their people. That's similar to what I'm doing now. The truth is that when I left Nigeria, it didn't have anything to do with me bettering Nigeria per se. It had something to do with bettering myself. Like most people that travel overseas, they travel overseas to either go and study or start a new life where they can, or start a new job or a new profession where they can be paid more. In other words, for their family, nonetheless, the same thing. So that's the scenario I too left the country. Not necessarily because I hated the country. See what I mean? Some people actually leave the country because they hate Nigeria. Some people left the country or traumatized by Nigeria, more like. So my being away doesn't necessarily mean I hate the country. Doesn't necessarily mean I should be quiet and not try to defend the interests of the country. How you can grow up sometimes and you move away from your parents' house and you go and live somewhere else. It doesn't mean you care for your parents any less. You understand that? You don't say because you are leaving your parents' home, you care for your parents any less. Your parents remain your parents. You're going to fight for them and you're going to die for them. It's just what it is. Whether they are poor or even sometimes dysfunctional, you defend your parents. Your grandparents, even people defend their grandparents, not to mention their immediate parents. And among the parents, men will die for their mothers. Men, women die for their mothers. They are willing to pay the ultimate price if you say anything wrong about their mother. A man could tolerate you even insulting their father, but try with their mother. Try it. You find that you have a bigger problem than you have a bigger problem than you bargain for. That is life. Just because you are away from your parents or you are away from your country doesn't mean you care for your country nonetheless. Yeah, Nigeria. See, come on, man. Tata will calm down. You just be happy New Year. Now you are going all dark on us, Tata will. Come on. Let's bring the temperature down. Tata will calm down. Eh? Bring it down a bit. Let me see. Name one thing you have done for your town, state, or Nigeria. Oh no. See, you can't believe how many people that I've trained in Nigeria or that I've worked with in Nigeria. So I've done quite a bit in Nigeria already, but it's nothing. And the times I spend on here too, you see all these people, you don't know this time is valuable to you know how much I could be making when I'm not here. I come here, I sit down, I walk out, I talk to you guys and chat with all of you, and you say, what have I done? You two are doing something. By being here, you are doing something. You don't know. You are contributing to the live discourse. Talk is not for nothing. Talk helps you cement ideas, form new ideas, and ultimately lead to decision making. And hopefully, based on the kind of conversation we have here, it's going to be more enlightened decision making that we need. Instead of all these type of conversations that we have in Nigeria, where you see one person, 1 minute he's attacking the Igbo people, then the next minute he's saying the Igbo people, the Okrika people, the Ikwere people, I don't know, the Okrika, Kalabari, and Opobo, they are all Igbo. It's like, what kind of madness is this? And at the same time, he's saying that the Anyama people are not Igbo too. Why does all this even matter? Igbo or not Igbo, we control nothing. You know that no black man, not even no Nigerian alone, no black man has ever won the Nobel Prize for physics, and I don't think even in any sciences. And yet, an Indian has won it, a Chinese has won it, a Middle Eastern person has won it, a white person has won it, a Jewish person has won it. Just name it. Every other group has won it. Yet, a population of the world that make up at least, I think, almost 20% of the population of the world. We make up at least 20% of the population of the world, if I'm not mistaken, just almost. Not one from that population has created one physics Nobel Prize. Not one. As a matter of fact, if you also go and check the top 50 tech companies in the world, when we say tech, basically the companies that control the world. That's basically what I'm telling you. Go and check the top 50, whether you see one black person there. Check. Search your Google and show me one top, among the top 50, whether you see one black person there. You see Indian, you see Chinese, you see Middle Eastern, you see white, you see all kinds of people, but not black. Because we are too busy thinking that our Nobel Prize is going to come from defining every tribal group as less than. We are still busy thinking that defining every other religion that was handed to us as less than, or as the biggest strength ever. When you define your horizon with that, you wonder why you don't accomplish much, why you lose sight of the most important things, and fall in love with the things, as they say, that destroy men and people. Arguing about religion, arguing about tribes. When historical facts are already there, we already know the facts. We know it, people. When you hear people speak, you hear. The truth is that even in the north, there are a lot of people that speak Hausa but are not Hausas. You see what I mean? There are a lot of people that speak even how some of them don't even know their native language anymore. They just speak Hausa, but they are not Hausa people. It's possible. So for that reason, it is possible for people to speak a language and not even know their native language anymore, but are not of that language that they are speaking. There are some Nigerians that speak English only. They don't speak their native language at all. Does that make them English? It's possible. It's not impossible. It's not unheard of. And I don't know why we have to force people to choose one side, especially if those people are bordering, different groups. Like the Anyama people, they are bordering the Edo culture and the Igbo culture. So why can't you just allow people to self-identify? Some people can say they are Igbo within that group. Some people can say they are Edo, or some people say they're just their own Anyama people. You see the same problem with the Somalis too. People try to force the Somalis to pick Africa first. Somalis will be like, no, I'm not black. I know black. Don't call me black. I know black. And but then they are quite happy to be associated with the Arabs. And what I say to that is, why are you worried? Don't be too worried about that. Because if you are doing better, if the black Africans are doing better, those same Somalis will be backing, they will be backing the African population. They will not be so happy to associate themselves with the Arabs. That is what bordering nations do. Bordering peoples, that's your point. They have both cultures within themselves. You have to excuse them. You have to allow them to exist in both, with both identities. As a matter of fact, people in the Anyama, especially the ones closer to the Edo culture, they should be allowed to identify with both. After all, we have parents that are from two different cultures in Nigeria all the time. We don't say you have to pick one side. Why do we even have the argument when it comes to who are the Anyama, who is Igbo in the Anyama area and who is not Igbo? It doesn't matter. Some of all these things are, this is why I don't like to pay attention to all these things, because this is why I focus on security, because if you look at this argument, you just discover that what is the point? It doesn't even, it's not even relevant. It's not that important. You look at it left, right, all around, we're all mixed already in so many ways. When we should be worrying about how we are wasting a lot of our resources because of insecurity. Nobody wants to come and invest in Nigeria because of insecurity. Nobody wants to travel, go to the farms because of insecurity. People are scared of traveling the roads, reducing economic activity in Nigeria because of insecurity. This stuff is costing us almost $1 billion every year. I keep saying this, and it's almost as I'm speaking French. I don't know why every Nigerian right now is not saying, yeah, in the chat, and saying, yeah, I support you. It's like that should not be controversial at all. We should all be lockstep. That 50 billion, it has to stop. We can't afford to lose it one more day. But when it comes to Nigeria, nothing is that simple. There's a reason why Fela called it colonial mentality. It's not that simple. The way you talk to a Nigeria will look at you like, you think this guy is empty-headed, but you just find out the person will say so many things. You're like, okay, but everything you just said, even if it's rubbish, you are so sophisticated at saying it. And that's the problem. Because they are so sophisticated at their ignorance, they find it harder to change their mind. That's why they never agree. Even when the numbers clearly shows Nigeria is losing almost $50 billion every year because of insecurity, what else is more important than that? What else is more? Do you know how many lives that is? I don't think Boko Haram has killed that many people, apart from true insecurity. 50 billion can save so many lives. What you can do with $50 billion worth of economic activity, I can't even start saying. You can even build world-class hospitals in every state in Nigeria in one every year with $50 billion. In the last 10 years, Nigeria has lost, from the estimate, it says from $1.2 trillion to $1.8 trillion. In the last 10 years, we've lost. Like, Nigeria just pissed it away. And this is the argument we do. Odema ended wiki. Single meeting. Igbo, Hausa, Fulani, all this talk that never ends. You all should be agreeing with stopping the bleed. We have to stop the bleed. Oh, Kenny Bush, he said, Persians, Somalis ain't Arabs. Yeah, go and tell them that now. No, you can tell Persians that, but go and tell Somalis that. They will tell you they are not Arabs, but they treat the Arabs better. And they have, let's face it, they have some Arab admixture within them. It's proven, it's a fact. If you ask for evidence, I will show you evidence. So they do have Arab admixture in them. And this is why in their country, they actually treat Arabs better than they treat the Bantu population in Somalia. You know, about 3 weeks ago, I did some analysis based on the relationship the Bantus have with Somalia versus how the Somalis that live in Bantu Kenya are treated. I did some analysis on that. And what came out was that the Bantus in Somalia were treated far worse in Somalia and empowered far less in Somalia versus how the Somalis are treated in Kenya. The Somalis in Kenya are allowed to participate almost fully in political process and the whole political power compared to the Bantus in Somalia. So it's like we as a people, the Bantus are like us. We as a people, the way we interact with any other group is very, very poor. And maybe because we spend too much time arguing amongst ourselves too. We spend too much time arguing amongst ourselves. I don't know whether any of you have seen that video about Speed. I've forgotten Speed. I think his name is Speed or something. I don't know what his full name is. I think I Speed now. That's his name. The guy is really causing a lot of chaos out there. He seems to be, you would think that the world knows about Africa already, but it seems to be opening a lot of people's eyes to the situation in Africa. I think his name is, what's that his name? I Show Speed. Yeah, I Show Speed, that's his name. He seems to be touching a lot of African Americans in a way that I thought Wodemaya has already done. I didn't know that so many African Americans didn't know about Africa. Because this YouTuber has now up to 47 million subscribers. That is how big he is, by the way. And he has been traveling the world. He went to China, and Americans saw China for what it truly is, that China is far more developed than their leaders make them believe. Then he went to Eastern Europe. They were being very racist towards him, calling the N-word and all kinds of stuff. But when he arrived in Angola and now South Africa, the treatment he got is really, really touching a lot of African Americans, especially the young ones. They were really surprised how well received he was. That people were, welcoming him, happy to see him, compared to the way he was received in other continents. And the reason why I mentioned this, nobody cared what tribe he was from. Nobody cared. He was black, that was good enough. And man, people don't understand. To watch others overseas shedding tears because they see how Africans are treating African American and an African American. This young girl was in tears. I really felt it, because to be moved to the point whereby you are in tears because a fellow black African American was treated so well overseas, and not just overseas, on the same land that your ancestors were expelled from. I think it touches them different. And I find that quite moving to watch her lament about what the treatment that the African American this celebrity was receiving. KJ, I saw you a moment ago. I thought you left a message. I thought, oh, KJ was here a moment ago. Yeah. So that was, when I saw that, I was like, wow, that is quite a big I hope there's no live stream going on. Hold on. Is there a live stream going on? Can somebody let me know? Can somebody check? Let me check. Hold on, let me confirm, because I think there should be one soon, Let me see. The diaspora. Hold on. There should be one soon. I have to check. This thing can get nasty very quickly. I saw KJ just now. I think that he might be coming to let me know. Let me confirm. Yeah. I need to get off now. All right, gentlemen, I've got to get off. There's another live stream coming up. Good thing. Thank you for alerting me, KJ. You see, I would have gotten myself into some kind of model right now. So thank you, gentlemen, and go to the next live feed. Let me share the link with you, so that you can, if you want to join that live stream, you can be able to join. Let me get it up now. It should be on in less than 2 minutes. So feel free to join the live stream as soon as possible. And yeah, KJ, I really appreciate you coming to alert me, because I didn't see it from this end. If I wouldn't have known. All right, so join that live feed. Let me see if I can find the front page, so you don't have to go there yourself. I'll find it on the front page. It should be coming on any moment now. Where is it again? Let's see, where is it? Okay, it should be coming on. Let me get the page so you can find it more easily. I think I'll join that one too. Let's see. Selective this thing. All right. So let me share that now quickly, so you guys can join the live feed immediately, so you don't have to search for it. So that's the link there. Just click and you'll be on the page, and the live is starting any moment now. So till next time, bye everyone. Thank you all and Happy New Year. Hope you all have a great time. Bye.